It's over. Deadline day, 7 p.m. sharp. You're expecting a live. You're expecting a suit and tie. You only got the tie today and the dressing gown because I knew it was going to be some foolishness. So I've not dressed up for the occasion because there is no occasion. What on earth was that? What on earth was that? I can't even see the vision. So I've taken off my glasses. I'm blind, legally blind. What was that? What was that end to the window? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to create some sort of hopium and copium. What was that end to the window? We're going to talk about the window in its entirety. We're going to talk about it completely. I'm not going to cuss, rant, rage, rampage for the whole video. Absolutely not. But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend. Because in my perfectly honest opinion, disagree if you wish. You're more than welcome to in the comments. I truly believe there was an opportunity for us to really assault this title, really assault it, yeah? Damage the strategy of the others, really take shop of what we have, add to it with the quality at the end, and go for it. And it's just gone from bad to worse to ruins each and every day. And that's why I said last week, just shut the window, because we're not going to do anything good. We're not going to do anything interesting or optimistic or improve. We're not going to do anything. Now, what we got to do is decompartmentalize finances from finishing positions, finances from the football pitch, because people think this is a black and white conversation and it's very grey. Because when I speak about Nicholas Jackson, which is where we're going to start, I'm not happy. But I'm not happy because I believe the squad is now weaker. I believe the squad is now weaker. Now the finances, the financials, the accountants, the costs, the fees, how could I complain? You've sold someone to a degree because he's gone on loan, but obligation to buy. Now, steady on there. It could be a potential situation where Bayern Munich don't actually play the guy enough games, minutes, matches, whatever it is, and then he comes back here next summer. So before we clap, before we do too much, that deal has to actually get done. That actually has to happen. The transfer has to be completed next summer. And then the full total 70 million, 14 million loan fee, which is astronomical, which is incredible. And then the 56 million obligation to buy is triggered. And that's fantastic. Let me make that abundantly clear at the beginning. That's fantastic. But you know what's not fantastic? Is the fact that Gu is the striker that we now have to turn to, in my opinion. Because let's keep it a buck. The manager didn't trust Gu last season. He trusted Jackson more than Gu. He said on camera, in front of the public, with microphones in his face, I want a Jackson-type-like striker. More the merrier. Now, Jackson has been replaced by João Pedro, and he's better, and he's a clear upgrade and improvement, and I'm so happy to have João Pedro. But what we have done here today, and to be honest, I may even say we should take. You want to hold hands while we pray? While we pray, you want to hold hands? Come, take my hand. Take my hand. Hold it now, because you know if João Pedro gets a knock or a niggle, we're cooked. We're finished. So take my hand. Pray with me. Pray with me. One injury to João Pedro and we are finished in this attack. They don't want to tell us when Cole Palmer's coming back. That's not a good sign. So, The player that the manager, forget your opinions, your aspirations, your why scouting for Gu. The manager did not trust Gu last season. He only played him in the Conference League. We sent him on loan to Sunderland to prove himself for game time, to develop. He starts the first few games on the bench. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Santos goes to Nottingham Forest. Gilmour goes to Norwich. It doesn't always work out. That's why I would have preferred for him to go to the Championship. So he's guaranteed to get the games, guaranteed to get the goals, guaranteed to get the pure profit on that 5 million, the increase, the profit margin. But we all understood that Gu really needed to go out on loan. Now, I've been singing from the song sheets that we need 3 strikers. And people keep saying, you can't have 3 strikers. You can't have 3 strikers. João Pedro is not an out-and-out striker. So it's 2.5. It's not because he can't finish. It's not because he can't head the ball. I am absolutely loving João Pedro. His last 2 games have come in the 10. His last game, he scored, but he also played as a box-to-box midfielder. This guy was defending in our box and brilliantly, heading the ball away. We've seen him clear it off the line. We've seen him win tackles, draw fouls inside our own half to help Enzo Fernandez out, who was having a shocking first half, to help. So he's positionally versatile. I thought we all understood that. So because he's positionally versatile, because Cole Palmer's injured, because Xavi Simons isn't over the line, he's gone to Spurs, because we brought in Buonate on loan from Brighton, I've seen their executive COO has come out and said, I look forward to seeing how he does at Chelsea. He will be coming back to Brighton. We look forward to his development. Don't piss me off. Don't take the piss out of my club. Yeah? Don't take the piss out of our club. You're defeat the club. You're defeat the club, not us. So on God, I swear, on everything. Let me not get into it. So, João Pedro played in the 10 the last 2 games and brilliantly. He got man the match the last game, scored and assisted against West Ham. So, I'm more than happy for him to play in the 10. And striker, depending on the game. Tactical versatility. I'm also happy to play with 2 strikers, which is what we did in the last 2 games. Delap. But Delap's injured. And don't tell me, oh, Chelsea are unlucky. They banished Jackson, or they put him out of the team and the squad and they had him up for sale, and then they got unlucky with the Delap injury and now suddenly they're floundering. Tail between their legs, trying to ask and beg and demand that Jackson comes back from Munich, flies back on that same plane on that flight to come and embed himself and commit himself back to this team. I have more respect for Jackson than ever before because he said, you know what? You're not going to take the piss out of me. You're not going to get away with it like you did with Chalobah, who would have been well within his right to tell us to F off and stay at Crystal Palace and win his FA Cup. But because he maybe loves the club more, he's a Cobham boy, he came back. Credit to him. But credit to Jackson too for not being a little bitch. Because he said, you know what? I'm not coming back. You lot didn't want me. You didn't take me to the Club World Cup in the finals, or you didn't want me in the Club World Cup involved in the last few stages. You shopped me around. You shipped me around. People will say, oh, he didn't want to commit. The first few reports, Jackson is ready to fight for his place. A couple weeks go by, Chelsea are looking for 2 in, 2 out due to UEFA obligations and commitments. They want Jackson and Nkunku out so they can bring in Simons and Garnacho, as we thought so, until Xavi Simons never came through the door and a bid never went in. But that was the plan. So they were also pushing him out. And when you're pushed out as a player, no shit, Sherlock, you're going to want to leave. Same happened with Conor Gallagher. So let's not lie to ourselves and pretend that Jackson just up and ousted himself out of the club willy-nilly, because that's just not the case. And like I said, you could have played it to him, told him that we actually have competition for you. You will be on the bench sometimes, but we can play João Pedro behind the striker. There is a situation where there's 2 up front. And Lord have mercy, what would have happened if Delap got injured against Brentford after the international break for 2 months, 8 weeks, and then suddenly the window's closed. You can't recall Gu and Jackson's in Munich. But I'm meant to believe this is great planning. Chelsea are just unlucky. No, we're idiots. You don't send a player out like that when this is your current situation with your attacking options. And I said we need 3 strikers. And Lord and behold, we have 3. Last season, we had 3. People forget. We had João Felix as a 10 for Palmer. We had Jackson and Nkunku. And the third name that Maresca forgot to mention at the start of the season was Gu. We still had 3 strikers. With Conference League football, we had 3 strikers because we were misprofiling Nkunku. But now with Champions League, people want to lie to me and tell me, oh, we don't need 3 strikers. Are you taking the piss out of my life? Do you think this is a joke? Do you think this is a game? Of course people can get injured. It's not hindsight. It's fucking obvious. It's obvious. Look at the amount of players going down in the first few weeks, and you thought we were just going to have everybody fit. And now, João Pedro has to stay fit, or we are cooked. We are cooked. Let me get my glasses, because now I need to start speaking fixtures and facts. So now this is what we have going in. Delap, 8 out for 2 months, 8 weeks, right? Maybe 7 if we're lucky. He's missing away to Brentford. He's missing away to Bayern Munich. He's missing away to Manchester United. He's missing at home to Brighton. Revenge, by the way. He's missing at home to Benfica. He's missing at home to Liverpool. And then after the international break, we get to 7 weeks away at Forest. Not sure. He might be back, he might not. Home to Ajax, home to Sunderland, home to Spurs is the 8-week line. 2 months out injured, that's the line. That's the amount of games he's missing. No, he's not dead. Yes, he's coming back, but my oh my, João Pedro is going to have to play a lot of games. And you know what the funniest thing about all this planning is? Before I actually start giving credit to our window, I'm sorry, I'm angry. Gu is cup tied. This brother played for Sunderland and scored in the Carabao Cup. See, he can't even play. I'm pretty sure he can't even play in the Carabao Cup. Correct me if I'm wrong. Idiots. In that moment, in that situation, yes, you are idiots. I'm sorry. I'm going to call a spade a spade. In the last few days of this window, you are idiots. Yes. Yes, you are. Because you have unsettled a player like Nicholas Jackson. You caused him to not want to come back. Don't try and play it any other way. You caused him to not want to be here. You caused him to want to leave. Now he's left. Don't try and say the player's fault, this, that, and the third, hopium and copium. You're lucky that you got a good fee, but that needs to be confirmed in the next summer and we get our 70 million. Financially, Chelsea did great. On the football pitch, Chelsea didn't. That's the decompartmentalization. And you know what? I prefer the footballing side. As much as I want to give us credit for the money, as long as I want to give us credit for the money we're making and all of that, yes. But I'm not about to celebrate it like it's a trophy. I'm not about to do the list on Twitter, each fee coming in through the door and pretend like that's the win. The win is the trophy. The win is being able to compete in all competitions until the very end. And Chelsea have put themselves, whether you like it or not, in a weaker position to do so. Especially when you can see the other clubs outside of Liverpool, who had a great window, a great deadline day, they look fragile. You see, this is what makes me so angry. I actually think we can do shit. People are saying, oh, who said the target's a title race now? Maresca, is he even happy with this situation? We just started to breed winning mentality. We just started to breed winning spirit. Why can't we at least fake it until we make it? Let's go for the Premier League title. I know we're not the favourites. I know Liverpool are better. I know Liverpool have got better options up front, etc. But let's go to the wire. Let's go for it. Let's make sure in the last part of this window, we made signings that would give us an improvement, give us an extra edge, but we haven't done that. Now, we haven't done that. Don't lie, we haven't done that. Because I know some of you are typing away in the comments. We haven't done that. Do not lie. Garnacho is a player that is best off the bench. He is a developing winger. He is inconsistent. You know where he would have been best? In Gittins' position. And then instead of Gittins for 55 or 50 million, you just had a starting left winger option. And then Garnacho would have been okay as a backup. But we've got 2 backup left wingers in the team. And no starter. No starter. Until proven otherwise. Now, that's out the way, that rant. Let's get into the good news. The good news is Man City have got so many issues that we're still in this top 3. Arsenal have got so much adaptation to do to their striker, and Arteta is such a stiff, robotic, rigid individual that I'm still going to war there too. We know Isak and He went through the door. That ain't looking good, bruv. But we just have to win our games. We only play Liverpool twice. If you bleed, you can be beat. We've beaten prime Barcelona before in a knockout game. It can still be done again. Over 38 games, though, is peak. We might have to be a cup team this season. With the way the window's ended, unless something happens in January or whatever, or people just surprise us and shock us, we might have to just go for the cups, which is still okay. If you win the double on the cups domestically, if you do a Champions League madness, this is a great season. But for the Premier League, we have not put ourselves in prime position to really go all the way to the wire, in my opinion. With what we've done up front, we are going to have to get a bit lucky with injuries, and we're going to have to hope and pray that some of these guys that aren't really ready to be in the title race make themselves ready, because we're putting a lot of pressure on Esteval. We're putting a lot of pressure on João Pedro's fitness now. We're putting a lot of pressure on Buonate. And in isolation, by the way, I've got no issue with Buonate. Buonate he's here on loan. He didn't cost anything. And hopefully he's a talent big enough to have an impact here and there when we need him in cup games off the bench. But again, if you get an injury to João Pedro, you get an injury, you don't want to be having to play him maybe week in, week out, because At the end of the day, the facts remain he was on loan at Leicester last season for a reason. He needs to be playing regular game time. I don't know why Brighton have sent him us, but here we are. João Pedro now needs to play in the 10 right now, and he needs to play up front. No one's going to sit here and convince me Mark Guiu should be playing week in, week out for Chelsea up front. You're not going to convince me. As a second choice, because we have an injury, no problem. But right now, as it stands, going into Brentford, we need João Pedro so much in the 10 that Guiu has to start up front. Or we need João Pedro up front and we change the dynamic of our midfield to a three-man midfield, or Bernati or Esteval go into the 10. This is reality. This is the truth. Yeah? That's the truth. Welcome to it. Pray Palmer's back soon. Now, what I did like about the window... Actually, sorry, I've got more things to say. Bad things. Where was Kolo Muani? Dry loan. No option to buy. Well, an option. No loan fee, no obligation. Why not just get Kolo Muani on loan? Because the Jackson figure is so good, so strong. If you had got someone in like a Kolo Muani, or an Ivan Toney, I don't know what's going on over there, or a Mitrovic, just someone on loan that's senior, that's, just a little bit more proven than Guiu, no disrespect to the kid, then that Jackson situation, as messy as it was, as ridiculous as it was, at least you have replaced senior with senior. But it is what it is. Where's David Datro Fofana? I don't know. Maybe he doesn't exist. And then the final thing is just Garnacho and Gittins for 100+ million. That's going to be a very big moment for the directors. I said I lowered my weapon. Look, I don't want to raise it again, but the window was starting off really strong and it's ended so poorly. Now we have to hope that you've done some magic. Some of the things that you've risked and gone for have just paid off. But boy, this is why you have to keep an eye on these, man, because they're too loosey-goosey. They're too up and down. They're too unpredictable and not in a good way at times, because look at all this mess. Now, the good thing is about this window, because I need to get into some positives, because right now I'm sweating. I'm sweating in anger, yeah? I'm spitting into the camera. The good news is Chelsea got rid of a lot of players they didn't need to have on their books. They didn't get rid of everybody. It was always going to be difficult to get rid of everybody, but you got rid of pretty much nearly everybody. Loads of money came in through the door. I'm not going to go through every single figure. I'm not going to go through every single number, but a lot of men left this club and they needed to, whether it was because they had injuries like Chukwuemeka, whether it was because they wasn't good enough, whether it was just because bad timing, we replaced them, we improved upon them, whatever it was, a lot of men had to leave and did. And like I said at the start of the window, we are improving our physical flooring. And we have. Look at us on set pieces. I mean, João Pedro in the air. Mwah. I didn't know what to expect in the air. I wasn't sure. I hadn't seen loads at Brighton. Just, didn't really score many headed goals. Again, didn't really take many shots. This guy is looking like the savior of the window. Hato is really good. Delap at that price is really good. Gittins is probably overpriced. He definitely is. Garnacho, you know how I feel about that. It's a bit mixed. All the outgoings are great. No problem with any outgoing. Chelsea didn't sell Santos. They didn't sell Chalobah. They didn't sell, Tosin, who I think, as much as, yes, he's not world class, he's just, Unks is needed. I'll be honest, he's needed. We didn't buy a centre-back, right? We didn't get a goalkeeper. But we can say one thing. If we can't, which I don't think now, it looks like maybe we can't, but we're going to try anyway, go for that title and win it. A lot of the things we've done, it seems like we are preparing for the return of Penders if he smashes it at Strasbourg, Kendrew Pires if he smashes it at Strasbourg, Quenda if he smashes it at Sporting, Insamino if he smashes it at Dortmund, Mamadou Sarr if he smashes it at Strasbourg. There's a lot of players out there that I like and I'm really intrigued by and I'm really invested in and interested in, because I do want to see that money. Okay, where's it been allocated to? Those guys. Okay, let's actually try and see them at Chelsea. Let's try and see if they can actually make big steps into this team, like Santos, like Esteval will this season. So that those are positives. Now, does this create excuses for the season? Absolutely. It creates excuses for Maresca. Is Maresca going to be completely happy with the end of this window with Buenete and Guiu? Absolutely not. Don't lie. I know he's not going to be happy. I know he's going to be a little bit like, what's going on here? Absolutely. But there are players coming in 2026 that I'm excited about that could improve this team again and make us stronger next season. But it's just frustrating that I feel like we're getting stronger slower than we could be. I feel like we could be getting stronger a lot quicker if just smarter, better planning had been done for the end of this window, which, hey, UEFA restrictions or not, which are by your own doing, by the way. You don't get credit for cleaning up mess that you created. Let's just make that very bloody clear. But yeah, you know, loads of outgoings. Madueke, Nkuku, Petrovic, Okachukwu, Drewsbury Hall, Vega, Broya, Chukwemeka, Humphreys, Kepa, Bettinelli, Gilchrist. It's great. Loads of money came through the door. Great stuff. Great stuff. And incomings, like I said, I'm pretty happy with a decent amount of it, and I'm kind of questioning and concerned about a little bit of it. And there's some things that I feel like we needed to do that we didn't get done in the end. And I think that third striker is, you know, I said it from the jump. I said it on my final verdict with Jackson. I think 3 strikers, man. If it was 3 strikers that could only play up front, if we only played a one-man up front system and we hadn't shown any versatility, tactical flexibility in the Club World Cup, I would change my tune. I would understand where a lot of people are coming from. Why would you have 3 strikers? They all can only play up front. We never play with a front 2. That's not the case. That's not the case. That's not the case. So there's no point comparing it to previous Chelsea teams, really. There's no point. Well, and even then, we still had 3 most of the time anyway. Bar Eto, Torres, they could only all play up front. We had them. You know, but anyway, I need to move on. But you get what I'm saying. It's frustrating that Chelsea have put themselves in a position when they've got Champions League football, 4 competitions, and they're light up front. I'm so pissed off with how we've let that striker situation play out, because I know, in my heart of heart, I know that striker situation is not good enough. It's not. And there's excuses for the manager. If João Pedro has to play 10 and he can't get, and Gu's up front, he's got excuses in his back pocket already. He's got loads of excuses as to why we can't win this game, win that game, win this game, win that game. Hopefully Gu just does a madness. I'm backing Buenetti. I'm backing you. Of course, I'm backing all Garnacho. I'm backing. Don't ask me about this. Am I backing? Yes. But I also know on watch-alongs I'm going to be I'm going to be biting my hands off my arms. I know I am. Pulling my hair out my scalp. I know I am. Because I want to go for the league. I really do. And I feel like we've put ourselves in positions where we might not be able to. Oh, we might. And I don't like that. So, listen, I've ranted and raved for long enough. That is my deadline day wrap up. I'll do a proper ranking for Chelsea's window in terms of each signing and giving it maybe whatever way I'll do it in a tier list or a ranking or a code or whatever. And the rest of the other big 6 teams, because there's been a lot of transfers. I'll do that tomorrow in a stream. It will be live. But I thought today, let me be blind. Let me be in my tie, in my dressing gown. And this has been some foolishness. The last few days has been some foolishness. But it's been fun, hey? That's my honest opinion, guys. Let me know in the chat. Big up your damn selves in a bit, people. Peace.